All right, the next problem is going to give us a center and a radius and ask us to write standard form of the equation of a circle. So if you're given center and radius of a circle, the coordinates of the center, how long the radius is, the equation is always x minus h and y minus k both squared added together equals the radius squared. Now anytime you see in a formula or a structure a minus sign, it means change the sign. It doesn't mean negative, it means change the sign. So if h is negative 7, this will be x plus 7. If k is positive 3, this will be y minus 3. So whatever h and k are, you'll use the opposite sign. So here, h from the center is 5. Notice x minus 5. K is negative 8, y plus 8. And the radius is always squared. Whatever the radius is, square it. Sometimes radius is a square root. You square a square root, you get a whole number. Okay, so even if you get a square root radius, it's not that big a deal in this problem. The key to this is the structure, and people write the structure incorrectly. So be careful. If it says to write the standard form of the equation of the circle with this center and this radius, it has to look like this. I've seen people leave the plus signs off. I've seen people leave the squares off. It has to have that specific structure right there when you do it. So, for example, 6, find the standard form of the equation of the circle that has a center, negative 4, negative 2, and passes to the point, negative 1, 2. What's missing? The radius, all right? But the circle's centered at negative 4, negative 2. Let's just say it's here. And negative 1, 2 would be about here, right? Right? The circle passes through that point, which means if I draw a circle, the radius connects the center and that point on the circle. So you don't have to draw the circle to do it, but just know that if it tells you the circle passes through a point, that's on the edge of the circle, the center's in the center of the circle, the distance between the points is the radius. Right? But in order to do this problem, we do have to know what the radius is. So the first step I would do is find the radius. Do the distance formula. The distance between C and P is the square root of parentheses squared plus parentheses squared. What goes into parentheses is the distance between the x's. From negative 1 to negative 4 is 3 spaces. The distance between the y's from 2 to negative 2 is 4 spaces. I work it out, I get the distance equals the square root of 9 plus 16, better known as the square root of 25, better known as 5. Again, if it didn't evaluate, it doesn't matter because you're squaring that number anyway. So square root squared is just maybe a number. But the radius value is 5 in this case. So the center, at this point, I've got information I need in order to find the equation of the circle. I know what the center is. I know what the radius is. And I used the letter D, and that's distance, but maybe I should have used R there in my work, because D might be mistaken for diameter. Sometimes they'll give you 2 points on the circle that would attach the diameter. The endpoints of the diameter are this and this, right? So you find the length of the diameter from that, half of that's the radius. So keep that in mind also. It depends on what they're trying to do. But radius equals radius equals radius equals radius equals. All right. So I know my center, I know my radius, and again my structure is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. My job is to replace h, k, and r with h, k, and r. So if I do that, x plus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 25. That's what I'm looking for in an answer every single time. The correct structure, squares where they're supposed to be, parentheses, x with its center number in parentheses squared plus y in its center number squared equals radius squared. I don't want to see 5 squared here, I want to see 25. I don't want to see the squares missing or the plus sign missing. And again, whatever h and k are, the values of the center, x and y, you change the signs in the structure every time. This would be the thing I'd write on my paper every time until I got accustomed to what it was, and then I'd be ready to go at that point.